Christianity and colonization are two sides of the same coin. One cannot exist without the other. They always are twin brothers working together for a common cause.
Listen to this. I don't want to believe that a perfect God, an all-powerful, all-knowing, good God, at some point, deliberately or accidentally made a mistake, created a people, gave them their ways of life, their culture, and their spirituality and their understanding of the natural. That was wrong. There is no way. I don't know how I can get convinced myself, or how I can get to convince myself that the ways of our forefathers, that the ways of our ancestors, that the ways they had in their culture, their understanding of God, their spirituality, and their perception of the supernatural is wrong, in that it had to be replaced by something else purportedly better. Please tell me how. Make me understand. Let's share knowledge. Hello, my beautiful people. I hope you're doing good wherever you are today. So in this video, I want us to talk a little bit about a very controversial subject, a very controversial topic: Christianity and colonialism. Before I waste so much of your precious time, I'm going to share with you this video by a South African preacher. Let's watch this video together. At the end of this video, we'll have something to say. So let's jump right into this video.
We as Africans have been invaded in our minds. I challenge you. Whatever we believe right now is not authentic from us. It's not original from us. It's something that has been implanted into our minds by colonizers. They implanted it into our minds, and from generation to generation it was passed on until it looked normal. Now, I want to talk about something that I referred to yesterday: the partnership between colonialism and Christianity. What this partnership did to the mind of an African, it is amazing. Let's consider this to be colonization, and let's consider this to be Christianity. Christianity and colonization are two sides of the same coin. One cannot exist without the other. They always are twin brothers working together for a common cause. Now, let's continue. These two came together with one main purpose: conquering the mind of an African. They came together with, there's no other purpose. Somebody once said, the greatest colony of the colonizer is not a physical geographic location. That's not a physical geographic location. Although there are a lot of countries that are colonized by the colonizers. The greatest colony of the European people is the colony that exists in our minds. That's the greatest colony of colonizers. What they have implanted in our minds. Now these two, Christianity and colonialism, came together with the one aim: to destroy the authentic, original thinking and systems of African people. That was the main objective. We are going to destroy the original thinking and the genuine, independent thinking of how Africans do their things and how they operate their systems. These two, Christianity and colonialism. Now, two of you, please, take a seat. Thank you very much. Now, let's come. Can you come this side, Mike? Can you come this side, Bab Mahlangu? Now, this is one person. I'd like you to imagine this to be one person. This is one person. This is an African. This is one person. And you'll understand why I say this is one person. One thing that colonialism and Christianity succeeded in doing, they influenced us to file a divorce on ourselves. And we divorced ourselves. We divorced our authentic, genuine thinking. We divorced our systems. And not only did they influence us to divorce ourselves, they also influenced us to demonize us. To the point where we look at ourselves, we see nothing but demonism in our system. This was carefully structured and meticulously executed by the partnership between Christianity and colonialism. Now, this is one person. This is one person. This is the African. The African. He's carrying on in his own ways. He does what needs to be done. Then comes colonization and Christianity. They tell him, you and your systems and your belief systems are demonic. You must divorce yourself from these systems. You must have nothing to do with yourself. You must have nothing to do with what your ancestors taught you. Have nothing to do with it. Achoo. And then what does he do? He files a divorce on himself and says, I'm divorcing myself. And the divorced self is this one. This is the divorced self. This is the divorcer self. And this is what the divorced self would love to be. You are convinced. The teachings I received from my ancestors are demonic. My ways are demonic. I hate them. I don't want to have anything to do with myself. And I repent from myself. I repent from being who I am. And so I divorce you. And now this divorcer self says to this divorcer, you're a demon. Your ancestors are demons. Your indigenous beliefs are full of demons. And there's nothing good coming from you. Everything that comes from your ancestors have nothing to do with it. And this one, the divorcer self. Not only that, he aspires to be like the colonizer. He aspires to be like the person who brought the worst pain in his life. He aspires to be like the person who brought the most difficult disruption in his systems. And this one divorces this self and wants to attach himself to this self. It's not his original thinking. It's not his authentic thinking. It's not what he learned from his ancestors. It's not what he learned from the wisdom of indigenous African systems. No! He has been influenced to hate himself. And now, he wants to be like this one. He wants to talk like this colonizer. He wants to behave like this colonizer. He infiltrates his mind with the thoughts of the colonizer until he can't recognize himself anymore. He embraces the religion of the colonizer, the religion of the same person who came to him, took his land, took his dignity, oppressed him, enslaved him, raped him, lynched him. He wants to be like this person. He wants to be like this person. And he wants to step away from who he is. He wants to be this person. That is the person who doesn't like him, the person who hates him, the person who despises him. He wants to be like him. And somebody needs to stand up and say, I'm going to blow the whistle. I'm going to blow the whistle. Let's go and rethink our ways. Let's go and, Why you become so Christian that you think everything about you and about your ancestors is demonic? That's witchcraft. I can't imagine greater witchcraft than that. That is pure witchcraft. Only witchcraft will make you hate yourself. Only witchcraft will make you despise yourself. Only witchcraft will make you trample on yourself. Now, this is the divorced one. It's nothing but barbarism and demonic. This is the divorce herself. He doesn't know. After a couple of generations, he doesn't know who he authentically is. This is the aspired person. This is the person we want to aspire to be. We bleach ourselves. We take them to the colonizer schools. We help in destroying our own systems. We help. Until this person is a black person externally with a white psychology. And that's what most of us are. We are black people with a white psychology. We are black people with a psychology that despises everything that we are. I want you to go home and think about this. Is that what you want to pass on to your generation, future generations, and future generations? Black people love Christianity, and Christianity never loved them. It never did. It partnered with colonialism to destroy them. And I want you to confront that fact that Christianity never loved you. Christianity is evidence. How do I say it? Christianity is evidence of a subdued mind and a conquered spirit. A subdued mind and a conquered spirit. What am I saying? Somebody needs to stand up and make a call. Let's fall back in love with ourselves again. Somebody has to make a call and say, let's start loving ourselves again. Let's be authentic. Let's not be a carbon cheap copy of another person's psychology. Somebody needs to stand up and say, black man, I'm calling you to go back and fall in love with yourself again. Stop hating your systems. Stop hating your ancestors. Stop hating the things that you were brought about. Stop believing the lies that everything about you is demonic and witchcraft. And you know what I do? I raise my hand and I say, I will be the one who calls back black people, who calls African back to falling in love with themselves. Because what we are seeing today in my mind is pathetic. We are striving to be something that we will never be. We are striving to be something that hates us. We are striving to be something that does not have any regard for us. We are striving to be something that oppresses us to this day. We are striving to participate in our own self-destruction and self-hate. Think. For once, remove yourself from indoctrination that has been entered into your mind. Step aside from the indoctrination that has been, and start figuring out your authentic, original thinking. And tell me if this is how you want to continue. Thank you very much. You can take your seats.
So, Christianity and colonization are just but two sides of the same coin. He says so in his words, that preacher. I find it hard to fight that, because is it really true that all the ways of our people, all the ways of the people that we are in our true identity, that the whole concept of me being a black person is wrong? Well, not only me, that everyone else that doesn't practice this very religion that was brought to me, that I imported, is wrong. That don't these people really belong to God? Doesn't God really care? Doesn't my God really care about everybody else? That he's going to annihilate, unalive, and ban all of these other people, including my forefathers, our ancestors who even existed before this Christianity religion came along. I'm not taking sides with any religion, because I personally do not want to identify myself and attach myself to one particular religion without going deep down that rat hole to find out the truth. Now, where my problem stems is where the problem of this preacher stems from. Had this so-called true religion, did it have to, you know, uh, did it have to cover up everything else that was legitimately and authentically mine? That my language, my understanding of the supernatural, my ways, my culture, my skin color, my beautiful kinky hair, the shape of my nose, the color of my skin, did it have to get credited? And does it really have to be that other, the exact opposite of everything that is mine is the truth? And even that God, as depicted in many pictures, in many concepts, the color of their skin, the shape of their face, the design of their, and the color of their hair and their eyes, it's so really questionable. Why is it that I have to use the language that I'm using to record this video? Because if I were to use the language of my ancestors, this video is a dead on arrival, even though, even in other cases, even as it is in this language, it might be dead. But at least I will have made an effort to reach as many of as many of my people as possible, because my people do not understand my language anymore, our language anymore. We use someone else's language to relay this by ourselves. I find it hard to believe that when Christianity came, it had to demonize everything that belonged to us. And what I usually question very much, growing up, I have grown up a Christian until at least the age of reason, when I decided to start and ask a few certain questions and demanding answers. And I was told, no, 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 don't question. Don't question. Just follow blindly. Because if you do, it's an abomination. It's blasphemous. Even language. Now, talking about language, so when they came here as explorers and missionaries and eventually imperialists, they converted the book of the Bible, into various African languages. But guess what? When they brought to us maths, arithmetic, and science, and everything else that is written in those books, it was so hard to translate. But they managed to translate the Bible, because they had to disconnect me with everything that was part of my culture, so they can conquer me, so I can be subjugated. Because our people that do not have touch with their history is a people that are easy to control, easily subjugated, that are in an identity crisis. So they put me deliberately in a situation of a crisis of identity. I do not know who I am, because I have lost touch with my culture completely. This has gone so deep and so much. Think about black people in the diaspora, those that through slavery, through that same imperialism and colonization, were forcefully or by deceit, by any means, were removed from their people, their continent, their land, their culture, their ancestry, and placed in the Americas, in the Caribbean, and in Europe, and everybody everywhere else. They too also suffer they are in a deep crisis of identity, because we all don't have a sense of who we really are. And it was done in so subtle means that at some point, after using force during that period of colonization and slave trade, remember colonization and slave trade, they started to use subtle ways of setting up Africans against themselves, luring Africans into traps and using them against their people. And so that's why you find Africans sold Africans, Africans betrayed Africans, Africans denied Africans too. And this is also so deep that today, black people outside of the continent of Africa still find it hard to really associate themselves with the continent. Even more shocking is people in the continent want to quit the continent to associate themselves with someone outside of the continent. It's so funny. It's a serious identity crisis that we have to wake up from this deep, dangerous sleep. I love that there's a shift of power, shift of knowledge, shift of desire for black people, and they want to know for themselves where the truth really lies. What is our history? Who tells our story? Because we need to tell our own story. Rewrite our own story. Should start from rewriting our own story before retelling the story afresh. You know? You move out here and all you see is wannabes of white people, from color of their skins, designs of their hair, and how we talk, how we behave, even the bad things of the colonized, of the imperialists, those that they ran away from, their problems, we want to identify ourselves with. We proudly want to take their problems and make their problems our problems. We do not even realize what's good of us, about us, of our land, what our land is capable of, even our own beautiful weather throughout the year. We find ourselves desiring for polar regions, polar climates, because it was made. And you know, something is funny about propaganda. Propaganda will always be propaganda and will always be lies. But when it is told over and over and over, told and taught over and over, people begin to believe in that propaganda. People begin to identify with the propaganda. People begin to accept the propaganda. And that is what has happened. So today, this is a thought-provoking video, an intriguing video to really tell us we need to wake up and not just consume every information, not just consume everything we are given, because the wider mainstream media is a proxy of the person that is currently in power. And the person that is currently in control of political and economic power is a white person. It's shifting. I can tell you it is shifting, but currently She is in control. Even us in our own small institutions, we want to govern like the white people. We want to borrow everything from the white person. We even our leaders of black people are puppets, puppeteering the West, are sycophants of the West, because we're compromised, we're subjugated, we're conquered where it matters the most. You know, that their ways are the only ways that are true. We cannot just be consumers of every information without questioning. It is time to question. Consume what you might, but be careful of everything that you consume. It's so bad, the subjugation, that we'd rather have a white man oppress us in our own lands, countries, than having a white a person of like me take control of everything. It's so bad. We do not believe in anything us anymore. We need to wake up. We need to realize the truth, find out the truth, and kiss goodbye this sort of subjugation and propaganda. Please share your thoughts on this in the comments. Like and share this video, and if you have not yet subscribed to this channel, go ahead and subscribe to this channel to support us. Until next time, I'll see you in the next video. Peace.